Welcome back. We're going to do a new video series. This is GTX 951. I believe it is a 2001. Yep, 2001. As you can see, the pistons are absolutely destroyed. Both of them. So I turned it over. I think the bottom end's all right. So we're going to pull the engine out. I have a top end for it. I'm going to need to buy a new head because the head got absolutely destroyed. I'll show a video of that coming up. So I need to get it out of the ski and onto, oof. All right, there we go, slightly better. So we're going to get the engine onto the desk over here and get it torn apart. All right, got the engine out. Still got to unhook the carbs. Just kind of wanted them out of the way. The 951's such a pain. Now that they're out on the desk, you can clearly see that top ring is completely gone on that one. And then over here, it is mostly gone. So my guess is the raves might have caught the edges. I don't know exactly how that might have happened, but we'll keep diving in. Engine mount basically fused to the engine. No idea. I had to unbolt it from the hull in order to get the engine out. I had it cranked all the way up, wasn't coming. Love to see it. Looking at the carb here, one thing I noticed is that somebody did put a new fuel line in to get rid of the old gray lines, but didn't replace the line between the two carbs. So I think we're still getting some green goo in one of the carbs. I wasn't sure if there was actually damage to the raves, but there is definitely damage to the raves. So, you know, either pieces broke off and hit the raves, or the raves are the reason pieces broke off of the piston. So this is definitely part of the reason why the engine exploded. All right, set up to clean up the bolts for the 951. Got a whole bucket of stuff that needs to be wire wheeled. Started on the case bolts. You can see how much nicer these look than how they started. So, been a few days, but got the parts all up on the bench here. Remember, I cleaned up all the bolts. Going to, you know, clean up these really nice. Bought some sanding blocks to clean up the mating surfaces, making sure to keep them flat. We're not trying to take too much off. We just want to get the grime off so we can get a good mating surface on both. Cases are all cleaned up. All the mating surfaces looking shiny. So I like to take the top of the case, turn it upside down, and install the crank and counterbalance into that, and then put the bottom half on top. That way I can tighten everything down, you know, upside down without having to flip it around. Just the way I like to do it. Going to put some 518 on all the mating surfaces, just a very thin layer, and then torque all the bolts down. Bottom end is together, spinning freely. Got some two-stroke in there for the first startup. Oiled the bearings, shot some down these little holes here. Next up is over here. So I'm gonna back this out, put some SAE 30 into the cavity for the gears between the counterbalance and the crank. I'm gonna let it sit for you know, 24 hours, make sure everything's good before I continue building. One thing you want to be sure of when you finish rebuilding your bottom end, that it rolls nice and smooth. You don't want to have any binding, any issues in there. If you do, if it's tough to roll over, you unfortunately want to pull it apart and try it again and make sure that it's smooth. Otherwise, you know, something's jammed up in there and who knows what'll happen. Probably nothing good. Okay, getting stuff laid out to start putting the top end together. Nice fresh jugs, brand new 1.5 over pistons. So key, you got to know where your reeds are. The exhaust and the reeds are on the same side on the 951, which means that the arrows point to the reeds. So trick that I do is I always put the C-clips on the insides. Ensure your C-clips are in similar to this. Make sure that the opening of the C-clip does not match the opening there. Okay, she's all back together, looking pretty good. Just got a few things left to add. Got the raves. I actually have to shave the raves down because These are 1.5 over pistons, and the raves, I believe, are from stock. So I gotta file those down to make sure that we don't have the same thing happen again, which is that the pistons hit the raves on the original engine. So also going to refresh the oil lines and test the oil pump and make sure that that is operational, because want to make sure that the engine's getting the oil that it needs. So it continues. Okay, we're set up to bench test compression. Make sure that the engine went together right, that everything is good to go. Got the battery hooked up, got the power line set up, got the compression tester in place. So let's see how much stuff I can rattle off of my workbench here. Alright, rolls over good, starter's strong, and that is a good 135 out of the mag side cylinder. Okay, repeating for the PTO side cylinder. And it looks that we are also at 130, between 130 and 135 for PTO sides. So I'm happy with that. Engine is in good shape. I'm happy that the starter spun over well, and my stuff didn't all fall over. So do need to do a better job of organization for sure. Today's the day. All of this going back inside of that. I did do some cleaning, didn't pressure wash, but hit it with some purple power and just a hose, and it cleaned up decent. Still got to dry a little water out of there, but it looks much better than it did before, and just a better surface to put everything into. But gonna start getting stuff loaded in. Phase 1 complete. The engine has been dropped in, so it's time to start hooking stuff up. I didn't record much, just trying to get it done. I've been dragging my feet on this, so really just needed to get it installed. Engine is all hooked up, installed, and idling really high, so I'm going to need to turn the idle down for sure. But that's it. There you have it. The GTX is done. And thus ends the tale of the 2001 GTX. It's ready to go home and be broken in by its owner. So thanks for watching.